What is the app Obsidian? How can you use it to build your type of second brain? Is it a good choice for your personal knowledge management system? Hi there, my name is Brian Collins. Welcome to the Become a Writer Today channel. In this video, I'm going to walk through what Obsidian is and what you may want to consider before using it for your personal knowledge management system or your Zettelkasten or Slipbox. Hope you enjoy the content in this video. If you do, hit thumbs up, and if you want to get more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Obsidian is a relatively new app that you can use to build a personal knowledge base. It basically sits on top of all your markdown files and your plain text files. At the time of recording this video, it's still relatively new, so they're on version 0.14, and it's primarily built for Mac OS. You can also get versions for iOS and for Google Play, and there is a version available for Windows. Now, on the pricing section, you can see that Obsidian is free to use, but you can support the project by paying them $25. Obsidian will sync with iCloud or Dropbox, or alternatively, you can use their proprietary sync for a small fee. So the fact that this is a community-driven project which is free is one of the things that Obsidian excels at, because some of its competitors are not free. Before I get into Obsidian and show you how I'm using it, it's helpful to understand the Zettelkasten method. It's basically a way of taking notes which the German sociologist Niklas Luhmann used, and he was a prolific author who wrote dozens of books in the mid-20th century. Now, there's a great website all about the Zettelkasten method at zettelkasten.de, which is run by Sasha Fast, and I interviewed him for the Become a Writer Today podcast. But basically, the Zettelkasten method involves taking notes about ideas that you come across, summarizing them in your own ideas, and then writing in response to those ideas. And then you will also include your sources so you can find the original source easily later on. And the idea is that if you naturally take notes and interlink them over time, the best ideas will rise to the surface. And then at some point, you'll take these ideas and turn them into something that you're going to publish. If you're a non-fiction author or a fiction author, it's a fantastic form of research because it's built for writers. And I've been using the Zettelkasten method for almost 2 years now, and it's radically changed how I write and research. But if you want to learn more about it, just go to zettelkasten.de and you can get started by just reading some of the excellent articles here. And I also have some other resources which I'll talk about at the end of the video. But right now I'm going to show you exactly how I'm using Obsidian for my Zettelkasten, and then that'll help you get an overview of what this process looks like. On the homepage of Obsidian, you can see a mock-up of what your database can potentially look like. Now, this can be a little bit overwhelming, but don't worry, it actually doesn't take too long to learn how to use Obsidian. To show you how, I'm going to open up my Obsidian database. So this is what Obsidian looks like for me. Basically, I'll use this to take notes on podcasts that I listen to, on books that I read, and courses that I take. This type of research process is key for any non-fiction writer. Now, Obsidian excels because it enables you to interlink your notes quickly and easily. And also, Obsidian doesn't actually control or host all of your notes. They still sit on your desktop or in your computer as plain text or markdown files. In other words, if you decide to stop using Obsidian, you can easily open up your notes with another writing app. So to show you what I mean, I'm going to show you my files inside of Finder on Mac OS. So on the left hand side, I have Obsidian open, and on the right hand side, I've navigated to my Zettelkasten, which is hosted in iCloud. And you can see that the file names correspond to what's in Obsidian, and they're simply markdown files. So I can press space and I can open these directly in Mac OS, or I can potentially open them with another app or another markdown app like Byword, IA Writer, or Ulysses. If you're not familiar with Markdown, it's basically just a fancy way of formatting content for the web and for publishing. So I've written and formatted this article with Markdown, but if I want to see what the published version looks like, all I have to do is click on the view option, and then it'll show me a formatted version. So you can see here, I've got the headings, which I can click on. I'm going to go back into the pencil because I actually want to show you some of the editing features in Obsidian. So in this case, I took a note from a group I'm in about people running content websites. And you can see here that I have something called also see content scaling. So if I click on this, I can actually navigate through to this note. And this is another note that I've taken inside of Obsidian about content scaling for people running similar type of online projects. And again, I've got the source and I've got some key information for this note as well. So that's what Obsidian excels at. It's for quickly interlinking your notes, notes that sit on your computer. So think of it in a way as building your own kind of personal Wikipedia. For example, a while ago I was reading up on the 80-20 principle, which states that 20% of our efforts produced 80% of the results. So I took multiple notes on the 80-20 principle, and then I've captured all of these notes here on a single entry within Obsidian. So all I need to do is press Command O, and I can just type in Zettel, and I can search for all of these notes, or alternatively, I could go to this note in question and just click through to each one of these. The other great thing about Obsidian is you can actually open up multiple windows. So I can have two notes side by side and edit them as I go. So I've split the windows vertically, and then I can click through and I can edit these. Oh, this note is actually blank, so I need to fix this. And then I can click through each one of these notes, or I can potentially open these ones in a different window either. You can also have the notes on top of each other, so I can change this to where it's split horizontally. So this is a great way of seeing all of your notes inside of one app. And again, it's key to point out that the notes are sitting on your computer. They're not locked into the app. A Zettelkasten is basically your personal library of ideas and research. You take any notes that you find in books, podcasts, and courses and so on, and summarize them in your own words and link them up. So when I come across something interesting, I'll simply take a note in the root, and then at a future point during the week, I'll go back and rewrite the note in my own words. And then when I've rewritten the note and I'm happy with it and I've interlinked it with other notes, I'll move it into the permanent notes section. Now there is a couple of other different workflows that you can use, but personally I find that this is the simplest and easiest for me to use. So I have several thousand notes because I've been following this process for the past 2+ years. So here's one note here about on purpose versus desire. So I've summarized the key idea from my source, which is a book by Mark Manson and Will Smith, all about the difference between purpose versus desire. So I've summarized what Will is saying in this note in italics at the top of the note, and then I've written out my own reaction below in italics as well. So this is kind of forcing me to interact with the idea that's been proposed in the book. And then I've also considered how the note would relate to other notes in the Zettelkasten, and I've linked to another note called On Life's Purpose, and I've given it the hashtag purpose. And then I can click through to this, and then I can also read up on what this note is about. This note is a little less polished, so I probably need to go and work on this over time to turn it into something that's usable. But if I go back to this note, what I particularly like about Obsidian is that it's quick and easy to link notes. So all I have to do is press the brackets twice, and then I can start searching. So if I type in purpose, it'll start showing me all of my notes on purpose. And to make it even easier, I've also used a hashtag as well, because you can search by hashtag. So if I go to the search option and I can just type tag, then I can just type in purpose, and then it'll show me all of the notes that use the hashtag purpose in the Zettelkasten. Or alternatively, I can just remove the tag and search for the term purpose. So to summarize, the key principle of a note is that the headline or the heading should summarize what the note is about, so you can understand it at a glance when you're going through your folder. Then you should summarize the piece of research that you've come across in italics, so you're interacting with the idea. And then you should write a reaction to it, so you're kind of reflecting on the idea that you've come across. Then it's good to also include your sources in case you need to go back and cite that person or use the idea in some sort of public writing. And then to consider how you can interlink the notes with each other, because that's where creativity happens, that's where combinational creativity happens. And finally, give it a hashtag which will help you find a note using the search features inside of Obsidian. The real benefit from a personal Zettelkasten or Slipbox, you really do need to be taking notes regularly every day and interlinking them. And that's where Obsidian then really becomes helpful compared to other apps. So if you click on the right hand sidebar and click expand, I can see if this link has been linked to elsewhere in the Zettelkasten. Unfortunately it hasn't, but I can also see instances of where I mentioned on purpose versus desire as in this term, but I haven't linked to this note. So this is a way of kind of interlinking or surfacing ideas that I've forgotten about. So let's see if I can find another example. So this is a note I've taken about conflict according to Rubin. So according to Daniel Rubin, who was somebody interviewed for the Become a Writer Today podcast. And if I click on linked mentions, it will take me to an index of all of the notes that I've taken from this particular book. And of course I can navigate back and then I can also click on unlinked mentions, and there's no unlinked mentions. Now I've moved my notes to Obsidian a couple of weeks ago, so I'm still, refining the linking process between individual notes. But Obsidian also has a graph, so where you can see how notes visually interact with each other. So I'm going to zoom out and it can look like a mess or it can look like a giant ball that's difficult to understand. But when you zoom in, you can start to see the connections between your notes. So if you look here, for example, here is the note about the 80-20 principle. And here are all of the other notes that I've taken on the 80-20 principle. And then if I click on this, I can actually go into the note and then see all of the other notes. So this again is a good way of seeing how you're interlinking your ideas. And of course you can filter this to sort by notes that you are orphans or not orphans to make it easier for you to navigate. Here is another note that I took on the 4 primary emotions: happiness, sadness, fear, and anger, from another book that I was reading. And I'm showing you this one to show that Obsidian does support images. Again, the images are stored locally on your computer and synced across your devices. On that, I've also used Obsidian on my iPhone and on a tablet, and it's particularly enjoyable to link up notes on a tablet. The sync on the iPhone did have a couple of little issues, so I had to delete my Zettelkasten app from my phone and then reinstall it, and that seemed to fix the issues. But it is worth pointing out that the notes are hosted on iCloud, not on Obsidian, so you won't lose information even if you have to do that. Obsidian does have a number of competitors or alternatives or tools that handle note taking in different ways. Of course, the biggest one is Evernote, which you've probably heard of. Evernote is good, and I've used Evernote on and off over the years. But personally, I was looking for something a little bit different to manage my notes. I wanted something that would enable me to take them into whatever app I pleased and would sit on top of them, and it would also support Markdown. So I moved away from Evernote a few years ago. So I kind of use Evernote now more as just a repository for PDFs and so on. Bear is kind of a more lightweight version of Evernote, but again, your notes are sitting inside of Bear rather than in a Markdown file in your computer, which is why I didn't use Bear. But again, that's also worth checking out if you like how Evernote works, but you're looking for something a little bit more lightweight. I actually did use the journaling app Day One for a Zettelkasten for about a year. I still use Day One almost every day for journaling, but I moved away from Day One firstly because the Zettelkasten notes were sitting inside of Day One, whereas I wanted them to be accessible from any device for writing. And secondly, Day One doesn't really do interlinking between notes that easily compared to how Obsidian does it, so that's why I'm not using that. Another popular alternative is Roam Research, and I've been following this project for quite a while, and it does do interlinking in the same way as Obsidian. And it also does do a kind of a graphical view of what your notes look like. But Obsidian is quite a bit more expensive. Well, it's not a huge amount of money, but it's going to cost you at least $15 per month to use Roam Research. And again, your notes are locked into Roam Research rather than sitting as Markdown files on your computer. The key takeaway from using Obsidian is that it's only as good as the information and notes that you put into it. So having something fancy like this or understanding the principles of a Zettelkasten will only get you so far, but you still actually need to take the notes regularly and get into the habit of interlinking them and interacting with your ideas. Obsidian is great because it's easy and it excels at interlinking. If you want to learn more about the Zettelkasten method, I recommend you check out David Cadavy's work. He's written an entire book about the digital Zettelkasten process, and I know he uses Obsidian and Ulysses. I know this because I interviewed him for the Become a Writer Today podcast, where he talks about his Zettelkasten process. But basically, his process is a little bit more involved than mine. He thinks about how notes are permanent versus literature notes, and that's worth checking out. I'd also encourage you to just get into the habit of taking notes regularly every day from books and courses that you read. And naturally, over time, you will find a workflow will emerge. Hope you enjoyed the content in this video. If you do, hit more thumbs up. And if you want to get more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.